Welcome to the Shreveport Connection with Tommy. This video is on your August the 12th Raw results. I'm catching up on all the videos and what have you. But some breaking news from this past week concerning Darren Young. And wrestler Darren Young and boyfriend Nick are featured in a TMZ photo. The couple have been together for 2 years and live together in Florida. WWE wrestler Darren Young spoke at a Be a Star rally on Thursday, the same day he told TMZ that he is gay. People told me that I would not be a WWE superstar, and I didn't take no for an answer. Young stated while speaking about the speech impediment that he overcame. I improved my speech, and I'm living the dream. So all I can tell you is, if you have any types of disabilities, don't sell yourself short. Read more on the story at presstelegram.com. Titus O'Neil addressed Darren Young's announcing that he is gay. I'm very proud of Darren Young, as O'Neil wrote on Twitter. He's been like family to me and my kids, and that won't change. Titus included the hashtag I'm in full support of Darren and included a photo of the two of them with his children. WWE executive Stephanie McMahon commented on Darren Young's publicly announcing that he is gay. Congratulations to Darren Young WWE for being the first openly gay WWE superstar, as she wrote. Stephanie made some headlines back in March for publicly supporting gay marriage. WWE executive Triple H, aka Paul Levesque, took to Twitter as well to comment on Darren Young's announcing publicly that he is gay. Congratulations to Darren Young WWE for living your life your way. Hashtag proud. WWE star John Cena congratulated Darren Young for becoming the first active WWE wrestler to publicly announce he is gay. Oh, wonderful, Cena told TMZ. I know Darren personally. Darren's a great guy. That's a very bold move for him, and congratulations to him for actually finally doing it. Read the full story at TMZ.com. I'll post the link here. /2013 /08 /15 John Cena Darren Young gay support WWE. Cena also stated that his oldest brother is gay. So I guess that would be Matt Cena, the bodybuilder. Cena also stated that he doesn't anticipate there being any issues in the locker room. It's all about being professional. Darren Young is a consummate professional. Cena also said Young is one of the best workers they have. They may have embellished the worker part, but he handled this perfectly. Former Temple University football player Norkeith Brown declined an invitation to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers training camp in favor of signing for a WWE developmental contract. According to NESN.com, Brown spent time last year at Bucs training camp and eventually played in the Arena Football League for the Philadelphia Soul. Read more at NESN.com. I'll post that link right here as well. Brown, age 28, is 6'3", 225-pound Army veteran who spent 14 months in Afghanistan. WWE has been vocal about the idea of recruiting talent from mainstream sports, and I expect to see more signees who don't make the cut with the NFL teams over the next couple of weeks. WWE issued the following statement on WWE.com regarding Darren Young announcing he is gay. On TMZ this morning, the superstar Darren Young revealed to the WWE Universe that he is gay. We, WWE, are proud of Darren Young for being open about his sexuality, and we will continue to support him as a WWE superstar. Today, in fact, Darren will be participating in one of our 4 Be a Star anti-bullying rallies that I already spoke about in Los Angeles to teach children how to create positive environments for everyone, regardless of age, race, religion, or sexual orientation. WWE made this a front page story on the WWE website rather than simply running it in their news section. Young NWE are going to get a lot of positive press heading into SummerSlam weekend. The TMZ story also notes that Nick was the driving force in Young's decision to come out. It also references the phone call that Young received from an openly gay NBA player, Jason Collins. As for the speech, Young delivered it at the WWE event at the Samuel Gompers Middle School in South Los Angeles. Like many mainstream stories, this piece also acknowledges that Young came out on Thursday. Reminder and possible prediction storyline that Kane gets taken out. Injury or possible suspension. WWE Studios is producing a sequel to See No Evil. Thus, See No Evil 2, starring Kane as Jacob Goodnight. According to Variety.com, the production on See No Evil 2 will start in the fall, with Jen and Sylvia Soska serving as directors. There's no word on yet as to whether Vince McMahon will get his wish of the Goodnight character having a 3-foot schlong. Yeah, that's actually something he suggested for the original movie. The first movie was written by former WWE creative team member Dan Madigan, while the sequel is being penned by Nathan Brooks and Bobby Lee Darby. Ring of Honor was in New York at the Hammerstein Ballroom, former ECW room arena, for Manhattan Mayhem 5 on Saturday, earlier this month. The event featured quarterfinals for the Ring of Honor title tournament, matches with Carl Anderson versus Michael Elgin, Roger Strong versus Kevin Steen, and Tommaso Ciampa versus Michael Bennett, the Prodigy. Adam Cole has already advanced to the semifinals already. TNA was in Roanoke, Virginia at the Roanoke Civic Center earlier in the month. And it had advertised matches for Chris Sabin versus Bobby Roode for the TNA title, Austin Aries versus Mr. Anderson, and Bound for Glory Series match. Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky, Eric Young versus Jesse Goddard, Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles, James Storm versus Robbie E. And then they were in Asheville the following night at U.S. Cellular Center on Saturday with the following advertised match: Chris Sabin versus Austin Aries for the TNA title, Jeff Hardy versus Bruce Anderson, Gail Kim versus Velvet Sky, Eric Young versus Robbie E, Bobby Roode versus AJ Styles, James Storm versus Jesse Goddard, and the late Fritz Von Erich, aka Jack Atkinson, was born on that date. 1929, longtime pro wrestler and World Class Championship wrestling promoter, died on September the 10th, 1997, due to brain and lung cancer. The Von Erich family was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009. The late Captain Redneck Dick Murdoch, aka Richard Murdoch, was born on this date, not the same date. In 1946, he died of a heart attack June 15th, 1996. There were no pro wrestling shows listed for that week with the ESPN Classics. And there was many hours of global and UWF programming listed on Monday, but no card was mentioned. WWE SummerSlam Access, Scooby took on John Cena and The Miz as he stole Cena's belt, and The Miz in a side headlock. And I'll post photos right here coming up, and you can see the photos. WWE Studios is partnering with Anchor Bay Films to distribute Road to Paloma, starring and directed by Jason Momoa. This is the third film the two groups have partnered to distribute, The Day and No One Lives being the first two. And it does not appear to have any WWE wrestlers in this film. Of course, No One Lives, something had Brodus Clay in it. It was a remake of the one Roddy Piper was in a long time ago. WWE wrestler Kofi Kingston, a.k.a. Kofi Nahaji Sarkodi Mensah, turned 32 years old. He was born on August the 14th, 1981. Former pro wrestler and current WWE employee Terry Taylor, a.k.a. Paul Taylor, turned 58 years old. He was born August the 12th. He currently works as a trainer at the Performance Center. Former WWE broadcaster Jonathan Coachman turned 41. He was born August 12, 1972. Coach is an employee of ESPN and hosts the ESPN radio show Coach and Company, in addition to doing anchor work on the television side. For those who missed it, Hulk Hogan, real name Terry Bollea, turned 60 years old. He was born on August 11, 1953. The former WWE wrestler and longtime Puerto Rico star Savio Vega, a.k.a. Juan Rivera, turned 49 years old on Saturday, August the 10th. He was born August 10, 1964. Savio also worked behind the scenes in TNA and the Ring Ka-King promotion. Longtime referee and manager Bill Alfonso, a.k.a. William Sierra, turned 56 years old. He was born August 11th, 1957. And Wade Barrett, a.k.a. Stuart Bennett, turned 33. He was born August 10th, 1980. Fred Ottman, a.k.a. Tugboat Typhoon, Shockmaster, turned 57 on that particular Saturday, August 10th. He was born in 1956. Former ECW wrestler Roadkill, real name of Michael DePoli, turned 37 years old on Saturday, same day, August 10th. He was born in 1976. ESPN Classic was airing the block of wrestling from 9 a.m. Central Time to 7 p.m. Central Time. Unfortunately, they don't include the match listings. Despite being billed as Jamaica by WWE at one point, Kingston was born in Ghana. His family moved to the United States when he was 1 year old, and he later graduated from Boston College along with Alex Riley. He has been wrestling ever since 2006. Trent Dozier was at the SmackDown taping in San Jose, California, and was passing along the following report on Superstars taping. In the dark match, Great Khali with Hornswoggle defeated Jinder Mahal. And Superstars taping, Alex Riley and Tony Dawson for commentary. Natalya defeated Naomi with a sharpshooter. Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston defeated the Primetime Players. And the Raw edition for August the 12th, 2013, kicks off with Daniel Bryan coming to the ring. Fans chanted, "Yes, let Michael Cole welcome us to Raw." We see footage from previous week where Bryan avoided having his beard shaved off by Wade Barrett. We also see footage from SmackDown where Bryan defeated Barrett. Barrett has requested another rematch, and here we go to start off Raw. So we get the match right off. Wade Barrett versus Daniel Bryan. Barrett waits as Bryan makes his entrance. Justin Roberts brings out Raw General Manager Brad Maddox, and he says he will be the special referee for this week. I smell swerve. Bell rings, and they go at it. Bryan with a drop kick early on. Barrett comes back and tosses Bryan out of the ring. Bryan came back in and took out Barrett down by whipping his leg. More work on the leg of Bryan. Or by Bryan. Bryan runs the ropes and leaps out onto Barrett. Bryan comes back from the apron, but Barrett moved and dropped Bryan on the floor with a big boot. Barrett sent Bryan into the barrier and brought him back in the ring for more offense in the corner. Barrett sent Bryan back to the floor as Maddox counts. Barrett follows and sends Bryan into the steel steps. They come back in and trade shots. Barrett takes Bryan to the mat. Bryan came back in and hits the suicide dive out to the floor. Bryan brought him back in the ring for a missile drop kick. Bryan with a bunch of kicks to the chest. Barrett ducked the kick to the head and rolled Bryan up for the win after Maddox counts real fast. Winner of the match, Wade Barrett. After the match, Bryan stares down at Maddox in the ring. Bryan backs Maddox into the corner and goes at him, but Maddox drops and rolls out of the ring. Maddox heads up the ramp as Bryan looks on. Bryan gets a no chant as they go to replays. Still to come, Bryan and John Cena will be on Miz TV. Also, CM Punk versus Paul Heyman, Randy Orton, and Damian Sandow were shown backstage as they cut to a commercial. Come back when we get Damian Sandow versus Randy Orton. Back from the break as Cody is on commentary. Out first comes Damian Sandow with his new and improved leather briefcase. Out next comes Randy Orton. They go at it, and Sandow drops Orton with a headlock first. Sandow with a headlock again. They run the ropes, and Orton drops Sandow with a back elbow. Orton works over Sandow in the corner, and then more back and forth action. Orton takes Sandow down with a headlock. Orton tossed Sandow to the apron, but he hung on. Orton drop kicked him out to the floor as we go to a commercial. Back from the commercial, we see Sandow dropping Orton for a 2 count. Sandow with shoulder thrust in the corner. Orton ends up on the floor again. Sandow falls and brings him back in for a pin attempt. Orton finally makes a comeback and nails the power slam. Then the draping DDT for the second rope. Cody ended up arguing and distracting Sandow. Orton nails the RKO for the win. Then we see Rob Van Dam backstage getting ready, doing some exercises. There will be a 20-man battle royal tonight to see who faces U.S. champion Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam. We see the Shield backstage. They cut a promo on Old Guard still running around. They are the new generation, hungrier and better. Ambrose talks about the battle royal as they go to commercial. Back for the break, and we get Brock Lesnar's message to CM Punk that aired on SmackDown. Josh Matthews was backstage with CM Punk. Punk talked about Heyman and their match, and Punk predicted he will see Lesnar later tonight. Great Khali and Natalya versus AJ Lee and Big E Langston was up next. We go to the ring, and out come Natalya with Great Khali and Hornswoggle. They got another commercial. Back from that break, and out comes the Divas champion AJ Lee and Big E Langston, and we get a side video of Big E trashing Dolph Ziggler earlier. AJ slaps Khali to start the match. Natalya comes in and lays her out. Natalya slams AJ back in the corner and stomps on her. Natalya gets countered and shoved into the corner with an AJ spin kick for a 2 count. We see Ziggler and Caitlyn watching backstage. AJ works on Natalya in the corner. As AJ taking Natalya to the mat, AJ slams Natalya back down by her hair and covers for a 2 count. Natalya tried to come back, but AJ kicked her in the gut and then hits a drop kick for a 2 count. AJ yells at Hornswoggle and tries to kick him. AJ took her down for a sharpshooter and locked it in. Natalya took her in got her in a sharpshooter, but AJ taps out, but the referee doesn't count it for some reason. Natalya goes to the referee to raise her hand, but there's definitely some miscommunication there. Natalya applies the sharpshooter again, and AJ taps out for real. Great Khali and Natalya win. After the bell, the celebration ends when Big E attacks Khali from behind. Big E tosses Hornswoggle around across the ring and kicks him out. Big E turns around to a big overhead chop from Khali. Khali and Natalya dance with Hornswoggle to end that segment. Vince McMahon is backstage walking, doing his power walk, almost like the Bushwhackers. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and here comes Vince McMahon to talk about the Bryan versus Barrett match earlier tonight. Vince called out Brad Maddox, who was a referee, and Maddox admits to being a little excited and may have accidentally did a fast count. Vince says everyone makes mistakes. Maddox asks for a second chance. Maddox promises to call it down the middle this time. Vince makes some fun of Bryan. Vince goes to announce that Maddox will special referee SummerSlam, but out comes Triple H instead. Triple H says he isn't here to air any dirty laundry. Fans chanted for Triple H, and Vince tells them to quit feeding his ego. Triple H agrees that we need some impartial to take control of the WWE title match and call it down the line. Triple H doesn't agree that it should be Brad Maddox. Triple H says it sounds like Vince was referring to him. He drops the mic and nails Maddox with her pedigree. Vince gets pissed and storms out of the ring. He stares back at Triple H. Coleslaw announces that Triple H will be the special referee for SummerSlam main event. We go to replays. Still to come, Miz TV and Punk versus Heyman. Back to commercial. After the break, we get Kane versus Titus O'Neil. Out first comes Kane. Then we get a victory for the Kane versus Bray Wyatt feud. And hype the SummerSlam match. Titus O'Neil waits, says, here we go. Kane strikes first and goes to work on Titus as Darren Young watches on. Kane ends up getting the quick win with a choke slam. After the match, lights go out, and here comes Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. The lights come back on, and Kane is gone from the ring as Rowan and Harper try to attack. Bray gets up, startled from his rocking chair, As we see Kane standing up in the ring. Kane makes the pyro go off, but Bray smiles and laughs back at him as we go to another commercial. Back from the break, and we get Josh Matthews backstage with the Bella Twins to talk about the Total Divas. We see footage from last week's Raw where Natalya slapped Brie in the front of Nikki and Eva Marie. The Bellas say that they are in complete control of the Divas division and walks the tight. She proposes a singles match at SummerSlam. Natalya tells her to bring Nikki and Eva Marie. Natalya says that she's bringing Cameron and Naomi. Here they come walking. The match is on. More arguing as Brie slaps Natalya and walks off. Next up, we get Alberto Del Rio versus Kofi Kingston. We go to the ring. Out comes World Heavyweight Champion Alberto Del Rio without Ricardo Rodriguez. We see footage of the beatdown last week. Out next comes Kofi Kingston. Good back and forth match. Kofi ends up springboarding into the ring, but Del Rio caught him with a knee in the midair. Del Rio with a cross arm breaker for the win. We see Mark Henry backstage getting ready for the Battle Royal as we go to commercial. Then we get hype for Christian versus Alberto Del Rio at SummerSlam. They are a music video looking at Christian's career. Christian is backstage with Renee Young. Christian said at SummerSlam he will be the World Heavyweight Champion for a third time and prove what he's been saying is true. All he needs is one more match. Del Rio walks up and laughs at Christian. He says something in Spanish and walks off. Next up we get Jack Swagger and Antonio Cesaro versus the Usos. We go to the ring. Out comes Zeb Coulter with the Real Americans and cuts a promo on California as they walk to the ring. And we go to another commercial back from the break. Out come the Usos. Cesaro misses a kick. And the match is on and the Usos go to work on him. Cesaro moves from the corner and finally hits a big boot for a pin attempt. Swagger tags in for some double teaming on the Usos. 2 count by Swagger. Cesaro gets some cheap shots in while the referee is distracted. Swagger nails a Swagger bomb. And in comes Cesaro for some more double teaming. 2 count by Cesaro. Cesaro and Usos trade shots now. Cesaro stops a tag. And in comes Swagger. Swagger keeps the Uso on the mat. And then we get Swagger and Jey Uso both tag in next. They go at it. Uso hits a Samoan drop. Usos hits the splash in the corner and goes for a pin, but Cesaro pulls Swagger out of the ring to break up the pin. The Usos nail suicide dives to the floor. Coulter distracts the referee, which allows the Uso to hit a double team move for the win. The Usos won that tag team match, and still to come, Miz TV back to commercial. Back from commercial as the ring is set up for Miz TV with SummerSlam host The Miz. The Miz brings out Daniel Bryan first. Out next comes WWE Champion John Cena. Cena talks about Triple H being special referee at SummerSlam and likes that decision. Cena goes on and says it will be a hell of a fight on Sunday. The Miz speaks, but Bryan cuts him off and threatens to punch him in the face if he doesn't shut up. Bryan doesn't get it. Why do people think all Bryan is capable of is a good fight? Cena tries to interrupt, but Bryan hushes him. Bryan talks about Cena, or how Cena is more style and substance. In it for the glory and not the wrestling. They go on, and as Cena gets ready to fight, Cena cuts a promo about believing. More talking by Cena. Cena brings up granting a Make-A-Wish earlier in the day, and the crowd popped. Cena says he's proud of who he is and what he's become. Cena goes on and on. Bryan says, there it is. Cena spelled it out. He doesn't respect Bryan. Bryan says Cena isn't treating this like he's treated his matches with The Rock or Shawn Michaels because Cena respected them. Bryan yells about how all he wants is to win the WWE title once. Bryan says for Cena, this is just another SummerSlam, but for Bryan, this is the biggest match of his life. Bryan says in Japan, before big matches, the wrestlers would slap each other to hype the match up as a tradition. Bryan comes face to face with Cena. He says he wishes he could do that to Cena right now, but he can't because Cena is not a wrestler and doesn't deserve it. Cena slaps Bryan and tells him to smack back. Bryan says Cena doesn't deserve it. Here comes Triple H. Triple H gets in between Cena and Bryan, but here comes Randy Orton to the stage. Orton stares down at the ring as his music plays. Still to come, Punk versus Heyman. Back to commercial. Next up, we got Fandango versus R-Truth. Back from the break, and Fandango is making his entrance with Summer Rae. Out next comes R-Truth. They end up having a dance-off before the bell. Fandango attacks Truth while he's dancing. They brawl, and Fandango escapes the ring to leave the match. Winner of the match, R-Truth. Then we see Ryback backstage getting ready for the Battle Royal. Back to commercial. Back from the break, and Paul Heyman is backstage with Curtis Axel. Axel asks if he's nervous. Heyman said he thinks he's having second thoughts. Number 1 contenders Battle Royal: Rob Van Dam, Tensai, Brodus Clay, Heath Slater, Jinder Mahal, Drew McIntyre, Ryback, Mark Henry, Justin Gabriel, Jimmy Uso, Jey Uso, Jack Swagger, Antonio Cesaro, The Great Khali, R-Truth, Fandango, Darren Young, Titus O'Neil, Kofi Kingston, and Wade Barrett. Winner of this will face Dean Ambrose for the U.S. title on the SummerSlam pre-show. Rob Van Dam was out first, followed by Tons of Funk. And 3MB, Ryback was out next as we go to commercial. Back from the break, more superstars are out. And here comes Mark Henry. Ryback tosses Young. And Gabriel out early. Tensai and Ryback go at it. Tensai is eliminated. Titus and Cesaro went at it. 3MB eliminated one of the Usos. Henry worked over Kofi in the corner. Khali worked on Swagger. RVD tried to eliminate Ryback, but couldn't. Titus and Barrett beat down Henry in the corner. Brodus and Slater went at it. Kofi fought back Ryback off of him. Khali with big chops on Barrett. Truth eliminated Fandango. Fandango came back in and tossed R-Truth out to the floor. Someone else tosses Fandango back out. It appeared Truth is eliminated. We go to commercial. Back from the break, and we see Brodus, Khali, and 3MB were eliminated. Swagger and Cesaro eliminated the other Uso. They work on Henry now. RVD eliminates Titus. Kofi does the cool spots with the real Americans, but gets eliminated. Henry later eliminated both of them. Ryback cuts off a Rolling Thunder with a spear. Henry and RVD eliminated Ryback. RVD ended up getting the win. And now number 1 contender for the U.S. title. Still to come, Punk versus Heyman. Back to commercial. And CM Punk versus Heyman is up next. Back from the break, out comes Paul Heyman for the main event. Heyman is not dressed to wrestle, of course. Heyman says this is all a conspiracy and introduces his co-conspirator, Brock Lesnar. Lesnar comes out, and Heyman shows us a video package of Lesnar beating up on Punk. Heyman says he's willing to fight Punk tonight, only if it's a handicap match with Lesnar by his side. Heyman demands an answer. Punk's music hits, but he comes from behind and grabs the camera from the cameraman on the apron and knocks out Lesnar with the camera and sends him to the floor. Punk flies out with a suicide dive and nails some chair shots to the back. Punk chases Heyman up the ramp. Heyman runs to the back, but Curtis Axel brawls with Punk on the ramp. Punk drops Axel with a GTS on the stage. Raw goes off the air with Punk looking at Lesnar, who is still down at ringside. And that ends my video for the August 12th episode of Raw and Superstars. Thanks again. Peace out.